So, Chael, I've been talking to this fine Sagittarius on and off. I mean, physically fine. Now, I like my partners to be a little dingy, have quirks. Some people would say they're a little thrown off because I feel like those are the real angels, that come to earth, like being able to have that innocence despite everything that's going on. Like, I like for you to be, a little touched, because I'm a little touched too. I think we all touched in a certain way. But, child, I was trying to be patient with him. And every time we talk on the phone, he thinks that his neighbors is listening to him while he's in the bathtub, while he's doing the number two, while he's urinating, and he swears that they're talking to him through the wall. So yesterday he called me and talked to me for 30 minutes. And I'm the whole while he's talking, I'm doing stuff like this. So I have the phone to my ear like this, and then I have to stop and be like looking at the phone like, is he really still talking about? So 10 minutes went by. He's still talking about, them listening to him through the wall, them telling him he too loud and they can't go to sleep through the wall. 20 minutes into the conversation, and I'm not really saying much. I'm, biting my tongue. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Mind you, he's calling for me to engage by periodically saying, am I right or am I wrong? But I held it together for nearly 30 minutes. About the 27th minute, are you taking any medication? And he was like, no. The only thing that I take is, my meds for the nothingness and vitamin C. And I'm saying to myself, well, I didn't say it out loud, but I'm saying to myself, well, maybe you should be taking some meds. Every time we get on the phone, he talking to me about, his neighbors through the wall. When he sent me the script, he sent me, and I'm like, he said they trying to make him look crazy. And I'm like, ain't nobody got to try to do that, baby. You literally been on this phone for 30 minutes talking to me about, it was so crazy because he said they're talking to him through the wall and he couldn't make out what they were saying, but they could hear him. But then he said they were telling him things, telling him to be quiet, telling him to shut up. And I'm like, how do you hear them? And he said, well, I can hear them. I cut off the fan so I could hear them because my fan is loud. So I cut off my fan so I could hear them. And I'm like, so basically y'all stalking each other, because if these people have never came and knocked on your door, if these people have never come and knocked on your door to talk to you or have never come to publicly confront you, then what is the big deal? Like, why are you obsessing with them listening to you and hearing them say things through the wall when they've never came to your door to confront you? There's never been a public altercation. So for months now, because I started talking to him like 3 months ago, he's been going through it with these neighbors talking through the wall. And I'm like, so it can't be that serious. Like, y'all are really invested in, you're listening to see if they're listening to you, and they're listening to see if you're listening to them. You're in your house with your cutting your fan off so you can hear, asking other people to hear what they saying about you through the wall. Now, it's levels to this, and I could deal with a certain level of touched. But if your level of touched is got you cutting off the fan so you could hear what people saying about you through the wall, that's above my mental pay grade. I ain't got the range, the capacity, or the bandwidth. And what do you say? Make you tap out? Yeah, I'm tapping out. Let's be clear. I don't think that people who say weird things or people who say things that we might not agree with or find flattering should be automatically thrown in conservatories or locked down. I'm just acknowledging my limitations to be able to deal. I don't think that people like that need to be locked up or taken out of society like some people feel about Kanye West because he say the things that he say People have the right to say how they feel. It's consequences for what you say and what you feel, but I don't think that they should be removed from society or locked up for saying things that we may not always understand. I just want to make that clear as well. I know this is a sensitive topic for some people. So at the end of the conversation, I said, you called me 30 minutes to talk to me about people through the wild. Then he had the audacity to text me after it was over with and say, lose my number, don't ever call me again. And I was like, after the conversation that we just had, I realized that you would rather talk to your neighbors through the wild. You ain't got to worry about me calling again, because this is the third time that you have talked my ear off about your neighbors spying on you through the wall. I'm not shaming those who process information differently or putting down people whose brain functions differently, because as I said at the beginning of this video, I love them lightly touched. I love them, when they outside of the box, when they think outside of the box, when, they don't, fully comply with the roles and the constructs, and, they still have some childlike innocence and, question things and quirky and dance to the beat of a different drum. I'm here for that. But, when you don't even call to really be like, hey, how you're doing? How's your day? How are you feeling? And you just call me and start the conversation off with, I must be bipolar or schizophrenic. And then 5 minutes later, you're saying nothing's wrong with you. They're trying to make you look crazy. But you start off saying your bipolar and schizophrenic must be kicking in. And then you take 30 minutes to talk about people through the wall. That's above my mental pay grade. So I'm acknowledging my limitations. Not going to be able to do it in this season of my life. That's pretty much all I got. A man, a woman, Lelim Layler. Thank you, God Goddess. Purple ones rise. Love y'all. Later.